Welcome back to the channel, folks, and thank you for tuning in. And today we'll be covering a new bill that lawmakers are currently working on to ease the pressure on first-time home buyers. And plus, we were seeing an increase in inventory in the Florida housing market. Now let's take a look.
Some homeowners in Florida are starting to get burned. According to Redfin, the median time a home for sale now sits on the market is 57 days, and that is more than double the time of 2 years ago. It's also above the national median days on the market spent of 40. Plus, if you search for home listings in Florida with the word motivated in the description, he's a motivated seller. There are more than 5,600 available, and that dwarfs what we are seeing elsewhere. Redfin recently published their report on soaring supply, more homes in Florida, meaning people are selling, and its impact on home prices there. So is Florida a warning sign to other states, or really just its own thing? Joining us now is the person who led the study, Redfin chief economist Daryl Fairweather. Daryl, welcome back. Florida, during the pandemic, everybody tried to move there if they could. Prices soared. Prices are still well above where they were a couple of years ago. Is Florida, though, its own thing, or the canary in sort of the national coal mine?
Florida is very unique. It was one of the only markets that sustained price growth even after interest rates went up. So I think this correction is just a bit overdue. It's also hitting at a time when HOA fees are going up and insurance costs are going up, and people don't want to pay these higher property taxes. So more new listings are coming on the market right now, too.
How much did the Airbnb boom during COVID impact the housing market? Because all I see are these articles about these Airbnb sellers starting to panic because they're not getting enough renters or, bookers to pay their mortgage.
Yes, the travel market has changed a lot since the pandemic. Not as much domestic travel, but maybe more international travelers. But a lot of people who thought they were going to have this guaranteed Airbnb income that was quite high are finding out that it's really not enough to cover their expenses, their insurance, their mortgage, and they're getting out of the market.
We've been talking a lot about home insurance in Florida, in California, and other markets that are exposed to climate change or extreme climate risks or utility problems or whatever it might be. How much are these soaring home insurance costs starting to impact not just Florida, but also states like California?
Well, the insurance market, it's in a bit of a transformation. People all across the country are having their insurance costs go up. It's not just Florida. There are things like higher costs to rebuild, and just their projections about risk are changing. So insurance costs are going up all over the country.
It's definitely not looking too good for the state of Florida. The soaring home prices is not affordable for the average locals. And so we'll see how that plays out in the next couple of months. So they're getting a lot of increase in inventory, so some pressure there. We should expect some decline, but we'll definitely monitor that for the next couple of months coming. Now let's take a look at this article from the Wall Street Journal. Wall Street companies have been scooping up homes and turning them into rentals. They are outbidding the average American by cash buying everything and forcing the average American to rent instead of buying. As you can see here, Wall Street went on a home buying spree. Now lawmakers wanted to stop from ever happening again. Democrats in the U.S. Senate and the House have sponsored legislation that would force large owners of single-family homes to sell their houses to family buyers. As you can see, lawmakers in Nebraska, California, and New York, Minnesota, and North Carolina are amongst those proposing a similar law. And you can see here the legislative proposal represent a new effort to elected officials to regulate Wall Street appetite for single-family homes. Also, they argue that investors buying has made it harder for the first-time home buyers to compete with Wall Street-backed investment firms. So everybody's buying, they buying everything cash. So I've been in this position too, where I've got outbid by 7 investors on a property. So pretty much didn't stand a chance because they're cash buyers. And if you come in with a conventional loan, you pretty much don't stand a chance. Investors of all sizes have spent billions of dollars buying homes during the pandemic. At the peak of 2022, they bought more than 1 in every 4 single-family homes, though more recently, their activity has slowed down as interest rate rose and supply became tighter. If you scroll down a little bit, with home prices and rent near a record high around the U.S., legislators and officials in all levels of the government have become a little bit more active on the housing issue. As you can see, Greg Abbott tweeted this: corporate large-scale buying of residential homes seems to be distorting the market and making it harder for the average Texan to purchase a home. So, this is coming up, and everyone's like, okay, we need to do something to help the average American compete. And also, the advocate for the single-family rental industry, such as the National Rental Home Council opposed such legislation, blaming the rising price on undersupply in new construction homes, which I don't think is true. They also put in the relatively low number of homes owned by institutional investors, defined as those companies with a portfolio of 1,000 or more. Some research estimate that some companies own 3 to 5% of the American rental homes. So, guys, they're trying to make themselves seem pretty small, but as you can see earlier, we were getting outbid. Cash buyers was 1 to 4. So that's 25%. 25% is a huge percentage. So pretty much we can get some sign of relief. We can get some laws in place where it kind of reduce the pressure on the average American, so the average American can actually purchase a home without competing with all these Wall Street backed companies, which make it extremely difficult. Should lawmakers get involved in the housing market and provide some form of stabilization for the average American? Let me know what you think in the comments below. But that's all for today, folks. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe for more updates on economic trends and more. And thank you for tuning in, and see you next time. Bye.